a psychotherapist, and so I work with people one-on-one in therapy, and I have been for a long time, 40 years.
Mhm.
But really more recently, in the past, let's say 15 years, I've been working with women who have been left out of the blue from what they believe to be a happy marriage. So I'm a divorce recovery expert. And in 2010, I wrote a book called Runaway Husbands. And so that has sort of been the magnet that has drawn women from all over the world. I'm in North America, you guys are in Australia, the people in Britain. Um, and so that women who are really struggling and suffering after the trauma of having been, and very often they've been in a long-term marriage and have felt very secure, and their husbands never mentioned that they were unhappy or thinking of leaving. That's sort of the definition of the community that I work with. And then one day out of the blue, he taps her on the shoulder and says, by the way, the marriage is over and I'm moving out right now. So this is, as you can imagine, it's a very traumatic experience. um, Typically, in 95% of the cases, there's another woman. And
Right.
very often he moves from his marriage, where he has been a devoted, loving, engaged husband and maybe father, um, and then moves in with this other woman. And at that point, seems to turn on his wife and not really care about the fact that she's devastated, and that she's suffering. And it's like all of his feelings for her have sort of shut down, just like that,
Mhm.
which really compounds the whole experience of having been left. So I call this experience wife abandonment syndrome. And it's different from a typical divorce. Because as we know, like a large percentage, in North America, it's like 45, 50% of marriages end in divorce. But in a typical divorce, they've been fighting and they've been just talking about divorce and maybe seeing a marriage counselor. And, both parties are aware that things are very unstable. But in wife abandonment syndrome, she's believed that she's in perfectly stable, happy relationship, and they're making plans for their summer vacation, and they're renovating the house, and they're, doing all sorts of things. And then suddenly, just like a flash, it's over.